Good evening, San Antonio. It is so great to be here in the gorgeous Pearl Stable. What a venue. It is magnificent. And thank you so much, Cheryl Scully, for being one of my two stellar co-hosts tonight and welcoming us again to this remarkable city. We love you, San Antonio, for being such an enthusiastic leadership partner for women in the world. I want also to thank my other terrific co-host this evening, Nancy Inouye, Toyota's National Marketing Director of Traditional and Emerging Media. Toyota has been such an incredible supporter of women in the world and an exclusive presenting sponsor tonight. We thank them once again for bringing us here and to so many other places around the world, London, New Delhi, and of course our annual summit at Lincoln Center in New York. We're very lucky indeed to have such generous and forward-thinking traveling companions. Many others to thank: HEB, our supporting sponsor and a corporation with a heart. Since the 1930s, HEB has been giving back to the community by donating 5% of its pre-tax earnings to local charities, a great role model. And I want to extend a warm welcome to some special young women in the audience who are joining us from some of San Antonio's fantastic youth groups. Where are you guys? Where are you girls? You were all outside in those fabulous T-shirts. I also want to thank AT&T, Bracewell LLP and the Siebert Foundation, the CE Group, CPS Energy, HEB, Neiman Marcus, Norton Rose Fulbright, New Star Energy, and Zachary Corporation. And finally, thank you to Janet Holliday of CE Group tonight for an epic contribution. She lent me her hot rollers before we got here. So, it's wonderful to be back in San Antonio. And since we were last together, something a little bit disappointing happened, to say the least. The highest and the hardest glass ceiling, as Hillary Clinton called it in her concession speech, has still not, it seems, been shattered. What is it about America? No shattering of that glass ceiling yet. Whichever side of the aisle you sit, it's agonizing and not a little bit shaming that the United States has never yet managed to elect a woman as president. We've seen a lot of unsettling misogyny this year. The political campaign that seemed to go on forever unleashed a previously unimaginable debasement and coarsening of public discourse that seemed to empower the lout in everybody. It's given validation to all the creepy trolls who threaten and harass women, who so much as stick their heads over the parapet. There were moments this year when the crowds were chanting, "Lock her up." It felt like a terrifying regression to the era when women who were outside the norm were branded as witches, tied in chairs, and dunked in the river. So how are we going to get the evil genie back into the bottle now? It's the duty of all of us here to make sure that we do. But while the biggest roles on the political stage stubbornly seem to elude us, last week's election suggested that the moral arc of the universe might be bending towards justice after all. 4 terrific new women are headed for the Senate. One of them, Tammy Duckworth, a combat veteran. 8 new women headed to the House. And let's not forget that for the first time in history, a woman, Kellyanne Conway, led a winning presidential campaign. Texas, of course, has always been the place for amazing pioneering women. There's Governor Ma Ferguson, the indomitable Governor Ann Richards, the remarkable Molly Ivins, the pioneer civil rights activist Rosie Castro, the state's first female U.S. Senator Kay Bailey Hutchinson, and today the beat goes on. San Antonio's Mayor Ivy Taylor, as Cheryl mentioned, Cheryl herself, I certainly wouldn't want to leave her out. Justice Elsa Alcala, Cecile Richards, who fought so hard this year for Planned Parenthood. Zena Stevens was a name that caught my eye, too. She's the first black woman in the Lone Star State to be elected sheriff. To those who are new to women in the world, our mission is to bring you stories from the front lines of change, seen through the eyes of remarkable women. They bring us the insights that are often dismissed, the experiences unique to our gender, the solutions women offer that don't always make it to the negotiating table, largely because they're often not there. The world needs women. Women like you, not binders full of them either, but a tsunami of women to take their rightful places as leaders now. You'll be reminded why all over again tonight when you hear from our amazing guests. It's a treat to have so many extraordinary women coming tonight. One of them is the great best-selling crime writer, Patricia Cornwell, as well as remarkable women from places as far afield as Congo and Iran, women from the battlefield of war and the battlefield of politics. So after this bruising election season, how do we move forward? We have a brilliant panel today to take on that question, moderated by the wonderful Biana Golodriga of Yahoo News. Let's begin.